We're waiting here. Yeah, welcome to the video, and I haven't been on YouTube for quite a while, to be honest now. Got this new tank set up, which is we had this tank set up before as like a reef tank, and we're doing it again. We did used to have a 26 litre cube tank in our old house in the kitchen, but never used to really pay much attention to it, and it ended up getting a bit ill maintained, and yeah, so we moved again, and I put the contents of that tank, set this one back up, put the clownfish in here, much more space to move, so I can do in an actual ocean now. So yeah, it's been up about 12 weeks, this tank now, and it's doing really well. Everything's good. There's really minimal algae growing in the tank, and the nitrates are fairly low after the nitrogen cycle. They're about 20 ppm, which is about right. And I just wanted to show you my tank currently. 260 litre, 4 foot dual aquarium, salt water. Got juvenile regal tang in there, fox face. All my fish are quite young, apart from my clowns, which I've had a couple of years actually. I've transferred from another tank. I've got a chalk goby in there, a blood shrimp, Monty there on the top, Monty frag. I'm using V2 Illuminaire 900 lights, LED, for the lighting, and as you can see, they're doing a good job. They're of showing out the colour on my corals. I have got an Aiken frag down there as well, which was a bit smaller than that. It's actually grown a bit since I got it. Yeah, I have got a small Acropora there that's bleached slightly, well, more than slightly, quite a bit. But it has been hanging on for the last couple of days. I don't know, we'll have to see how that turns out. So yeah, that's it. I'm using V2 Illuminaire 900 lights for the tank, which seems to be doing an okay job. There's not really any dark spots in the corners, even though that lamp is probably more for a smaller tank. It seems to do the 4 foot just bang on perfect. So yeah, that's what's in the tank. I don't think I've missed anything. There is a hermit crab in there as well. That's what's in the tank. Talking about setting it up from the beginning. This isn't the actual original finish on the tank. It was just like a beach wood in effect, the way we bought it. But we bought some vinyl wrap and we wrapped the whole thing in this sort of like driftwood effect, which is quite nice, and it's waterproof as well, so it kind of protects the tank a little bit more, which is nice. So we vinyl wrapped it first, and originally it was going to go in the other room, but the flooring in there isn't very secure and it's quite hollow, and when you walk in there, because we've got a basement underneath, it's quite hollow in there. When you walk and you can feel the ground shaking, so we thought maybe best not to put in there, since this thing's weighing about 300 kilos. We'll put it in here, which is much more sturdy floorboarding. So we put it in here. I ended up having to go and buy a ton of new rock, not a ton, but quite a bit. I bought these two purple pieces, the Fiji ocean rock. And these are just dry pieces of Marco rock. I didn't use any live rock in this setup. I seeded the tank myself with bacteria bio balls. These ones, to be exact, Evolution Aqua. And I've been putting them in every 2 weeks actually, and it seems to be keeping the water stable as it possibly can be. I bought the Salifert test kit. I bought all of them to do the tests. I've been testing the water twice a week, maybe once a week, and I can't be arsed doing it. We've got the dead rock in there. I spent like quite a bit of time. We laid the tables out on that in the living room, and we set up the rocks in a load of different formations. Because the first time I did this tank, I didn't really pay much attention to the rock. I just kind of threw it in there, and it looked alright, but it didn't look particularly amazing. So this time I spent a bit more time getting the scape right. So this is the one we went with. I glued all the rock together with Aquascape putty, which is in there. Glued it all together so it's secure. The water went in. That took quite a while to get in there. Started with just RO fresh water. Mixed my own salt in there, left it at least 48 hours to settle. We put the sand in. So the rock was in there, the water was in there, and the salt was in there. We put the sand in last to make sure that the rock was secure and that it couldn't fall. Don't know if you know, but there's a lot of fish you can get, especially like sand sifting fish and ground dwellers, that they like to dig in the sand. And then you can see, you probably can't see, under this piece of rock there's a cave that wasn't there originally, and the chalk gobies dug it. Off a little cave, and for instance, if I'd have put the rock on top of the sand, that could have all caved in. You need to make sure that the rock has strong foundations underneath the sand bed. So we put the sand in last. We used Reef Flowers Pearl White ultrafine sand, which is really nice. It kind of makes the everything else stand out because of how white it is. Two power heads in that are one's facing towards the top of the tank to get the oxygen and the airflow going, and the other one's pointed more towards the rocks so that there's no dead spots in between the rocks. After we'd set it all up, we waited about 48 hours because the water was really murky and it takes a while to clear when you put sand and salt in. so about 48 hours it will clear. Waited 2 weeks, testing every other day to see the nitrogen cycle taking hold of the tank, and yeah, I think it was about 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks, I can't quite remember. And that's when I put some cleanup crew in there. I put the clowns in there, I put a blood shrimp in there, which is doing good. So yeah, hopefully very soon we'll be getting a bit more in this tank. There's still plenty of room for progression. Maybe just a couple more fish. I'd like to get a yellow tang. I wouldn't mind getting a butterfly, probably either a long nose, possibly a copper band, but we'll have to see because I'll have to quarantine that because they are very sensitive fish. I wouldn't mind getting a couple of wrasse in there, maybe a leopard wrasse, maybe a royal grammer, and I can't really think of anything else that I want to put in there right now. I do want to get some more coral, I want to get some acons, some zoas, a torch coral definitely, some different euphyllias maybe. I think I'm going to leave the SPS and just keep it an LPS tank for now. Obviously when that piece of Monty, we'll see how he does. He's still going, so yeah, that's it really. The blue tang really likes grazing on all this algae up here, so he's probably one of the reasons that it's keeping at bay as well as the parameters, to be honest. He's always making at it. As far as filtration goes, I've got a fluval canister filter, external. There's no sump in this tank because it's just not ideal for a sump, I don't think. The space underneath is not great, and I didn't want to get a sump just because it just seemed like more money than when I've already got everything else. I might as well just set it up how it was. And I mean, having a sump's a bit easier. You can still have a thriving, successful tank without a sump. It's just a bit more hard work because it's hard to get to the stuff like the filter that's in this cabinet here. You've got to obviously turn it all off and uninstall it and put it in the sink and clean it out. And with a sump you don't really have to do that. It's all open for you to get your hands in and do your maintenance. Yeah, that's it. I've got a fluval heater in there, 300 watt heater, and that's it really. That's the tank. Yeah, the blue tank's doing fine. And before, I know this tank 4 foot is not ideal for a blue tank. It's ideal for a blue tank this size. It's fine, but as soon as you start getting 5-6 inches in diameter, then that's when you need to start thinking about moving them. And if it does come to that and we still haven't got a new tank, then I'll have to sell it and give it a new home. I won't just let it struggle in this tank, but for now it's doing fine. Yeah, if you want to look at, I've got an Instagram page as well, it's Dan's Reef Community. Have a look at that. And I've got Twitter and I've got WordPress blog if you want to look at that. But my WordPress stuff is more for the things that I write about because I am an author as well, if you didn't know. And you can check that out. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good evening. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon if I can do another on my next video.